My dear friends, my dear masters, and my dear gods. This is Dr. Kavita Kokunur, founder of KHA Miraculous Minds, welcomes you all to group meditation. And before we start, we always thank Universe for giving us this great opportunity by meditating on the most supreme Lord, the Creator, with Gayatri Mantra. ओम भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नो प्रचोदयात्. Om Sri Matre Namaha. With much gratitude and heartfelt thanks to PSSM, Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement founder Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji and Swarnamala Patriji Amma. The purpose of our KHA Miraculous Minds is to learn, practice, and spread meditation and promoting spirituality at organization level to make ourselves blissful, blessed, and attain wisdom by becoming oneness with universe. So friends, World Meditation Day is on December 21st. Synchronized meditation with 50,000 meditators. So please register at oneworldmeditation.org. It just takes 25 seconds. Today, December 13, 2025 is very special as we have Untold Story of Sita book author Dena Merriam from New York, USA, with us sharing words of wisdom on her new book Sita's Yoga. And also we will be doing group meditation. Everyone knows, and for those who do not know, Dena Merriam began working in the interfaith movement in the late 1990s when she served as vice chair of the Millennium World Peace Summit of religious and spiritual leaders held at the United Nations in New York in the year 2000. She subsequently convened a meeting of women religious and spiritual leaders at the Palais des Nations in Geneva, and from that gathering founded the Global Peace Initiative of Women, called as GPIW. In 2002, in 2008, Ms. Merriam was one of the founding members of the Contemplative Alliance, which later became a program of GPIW. For over 40 years, Dena Merriam has been a student of Paramahamsa Yogananda and a practitioner of Kriya Yoga meditation. Ms. Merriam received her master's degree from Columbia University. In 2014, she received the Nivano Peace Prize for her interfaith peace efforts. She is the author of the book My Journey Through Time, a spiritual memoir of life, death, and rebirth. The untold story of Sita. When the bright moon rises, Rukmini and the turning of time, and to dance with darkness. Today we are so and truly blessed and divinely fortunate to be in the presence of respected author Dena Merriam ji. As I look at her, I just wanted to take few minutes before we get on to Dena's speech. This book, it feels as though Mother Sita Ma herself is standing before us. From the depths of my heart, I offer my humble gratitude to you, Dena ji. And on International Yoga Day in June this year, 2025, we did session with Srikant Galagaru from Atlanta. And in that session, we told about untold story of Sita. And I mentioned that I wanted to see Dena Merriam. And today I'm so happy she is here with us virtually, but in presence we can see her. With your kind permission, I would like to share a few reflections of your sacred book, The Untold Story of Sita. As Patriji mentioned, it is like PSSM Bible. Though you were born and brought up in America, through divine grace, you have revealed profound truths that were hidden from humanity for ages. The book has the power not only to transform an individual life, but also to uplift the entire nation and collective consciousness. For centuries, many myths have clouded our understanding, and they are all revealed that Ravana abducted Sita, the Agni Pariksha was imposed due to doubt, and the pregnant Sita Ma was sent to forest due to mistrust. But these misconceptions have led belief that Lord Rama acted unjustly, portraying Sita Ma as a victim. But through this book, all such misunderstandings dissolve. And when we are reading, while telling also, I feel that happy tears. Though I read very less, but I can feel it. Everyone can feel it. Today, humanity is wounded. Our hearts burdened with pain, ego, and fear. We have drifted away from the nature, and love seems forgotten. But this book gently heals all our wounds. And while reading, we all get connected to Sitama. Right now, we are seeing Sitama. I'm seeing Sitama here, right in front of me as Dena Merriam. And every incident we can feel. Just one more minute, masters. I will just take that such a wonderful because author is here right in front of us. And the book has two parts. Part one as Meenakshi in Mithila, living in divine union with Sitama, and part two as Ansuya in Ayodhya. One thing, Mother Sitama's spiritual path is revealed through her intense meditation. She does meditation for several days with boundless compassion for all human beings. And one thing that really touched, or I would say for the people here, that a tigress whose cub was killed by a hunter. And in anguish, the tigress killed a young boy. All that overcome with this grief, the tigress, when it laid on Sita Ma's lap, and Sita Ma looking into the eyes with infinite compassion, she said, "What you did was wrong. Now go quickly and before the hunters returns." So everywhere she is showing the passion to animals, and she helped the people. It is incredible. You cannot express that much information is there. And also about the spiritual parenting, the King Janaka, how he raised Sitama, nurturing wisdom, strength, and compassion. And every sacrifice Sitama did was by her own free will. Only few know that she devoted a major part of her life to Lakshmana, even though she is having young children of her own. And her journey to Lanka was a conscious choice to destroy the evil within Ravana and to restore Dharma. Even her exile during pregnancy was not due to mistrust. It was the fulfillment of promises made in her previous birth. There is so much, and I would definitely tell everyone to read the book and see one thing. Ravana possesses the power to alter consciousness itself in the other person, but it's a big fight with the Lord Rama and Ravana for the purpose of good, and how Sita Ma survived her entire year without food, water, or sleep. It's an amazing, a feat beyond human capacity. And ultimately, the divine was not about hatred, but about conquering evil through love. And it is not confined, Mother Sitama is not confined to history. She exists everywhere, sun, earth, nature, and every being. She is embodiment of universal love. This sacred book is meant for everyone across all ages. Even children can read it, understand, enjoy it. May this divine wisdom awaken love, compassion, and truly in every heart. Thank you so much to Deenadi for giving me this opportunity. We welcome you warmly. Please.
Namaste to everyone, and thank you for inviting me. I'm always happy to speak about Sita and I never expected to write a second book on Sita, but this book came to me through a vision that I had, and for the first time, I'm writing about a story that's not my story. It's the story of a village woman, a very advanced soul, who lived near where Sita was when she went into retreat after the return from Lanka. And there was trouble in the village, and this woman, guided by Sita, helps lead the village through its difficult times. So I want to read a little bit. In the introduction, I talk about how this book came about, and I want to read just a little bit of that. And then I want to read one of the chapters. Each chapter is a different aspect of yoga. And I want to read the yoga of gratitude. You talked about gratitude. And since we've just sort of in the US passing the Thanksgiving season, I was thinking about gratitude. And when I was writing this chapter, as it was coming through me, because as it comes through me, it was a teaching for me as well. I was very much dwelling on how to incorporate gratitude more deeply, how to embed it into my life. But let me just read a paragraph from the introduction. My greatest interest in writing about Sita is to show the effect she had on the people of her time, ordinary people whom she encountered, who were perhaps not so ordinary, but who were very much like you and me, taking care of families, doing their work to sustain themselves, contributing to society, thinking about the purpose of life. How did she guide them? And how did their interactions with her transform them? After all, the avatars take birth for you and me. They are engaged not only in the grand battles on earth, but the small ones as well, the ones which confront us every day, which teach us to transform our own negative emotions and to counter destructive energies that harm not only us, but the rest of the world as well. This perpetual battle existed during the time of Ram and Sita, and it exists today as we see the prevalence of anger, greed, arrogance, selfishness, and indifference, and the fear that is generated from these negative traits. In Sita's time, these negative forces found their greatest expression in the personality of Ravana, Lord of Lanka, and his minions, who inserted anger, arrogance, and greed into the collective mind. Who is Ravana but the forces that drag down human consciousness and sink us deeper into materialism and delusion? The greed, pride, and deception that characterize the Ravana of Sita's time still stalk the earth today. The Ravanas of our time are in full sight and take the form of both internal and external forces. How are we to battle them? For we must. We cannot hope to conquer the outer destructive forces until we look within and transform the shadows that are still lurking in our minds and hearts, the remnants of negative thoughts and feelings that may lie latent within. I hope this narrative provides some guidance on how to achieve this. So, the one chapter that I want to read is the Yoga of Gratitude. It's a large section from that chapter. And the story is told through the voice of a village woman called Devani. And there's trouble in her village. There's a mini Ravana who's causing difficulty. And this is after Sita's now living in the forest, raising her two kids. And this woman is being guided by Sita, first internally, then she meets her and she's guided through Mata herself. And Soma often comes with messages from Mata. And she's just had a very difficult conversation with the woman of the chief of the village, who's a very a critical, complaining woman, no gratitude in her, and Devani is frustrated with her, and so she goes to the forest seeking some guidance on how to deal with this troublesome woman, and she meets Soma there. As I sat with her, I explained that the tension in the village was reaching a crisis point, and I feared it would explode in some untoward event. When she asked about Puri, I smiled and tried to hide my discouragement to no avail. Gazing at me with understanding eyes, she said, "Your frustration is due to your expectations. You know the only person you can truly change is yourself. Perhaps you've needed to learn patience and non-judgment." I nodded and replied softly, "You are so right. Thank you for reminding me." "We all need reminding. How often Mata has had to remind me," she murmured with a slight smile. "I will tell you a story of something that happened not long ago. A villager named Kalam came to the hermitage near where we live to meet the sage and offer a donation. This man wasn't interested in learning, but he thought it would help his reputation if he spoke about his acquaintance with the sage. And Kalam foolishly believed he could purchase his goodwill." Soma paused and chuckled, then added, "Clearly he knew nothing about Guruji, who was aware this man was coming and made sure to be away at that time. One of the students on the hermitage explained that the Guru was in retreat and couldn't meet him, but he sent him to Mata, saying, 'There's a very wise woman who lives in the cottage just down the path. You must meet her before you return home.' Of course, this man didn't know that she is the Maharani. Kalam thought she was just some woman who lived near the hermitage, and he had no interest in meeting her. But he also didn't want to ignore the request of the student, so he came to us, but with a bit of an attitude. Mata never turns anyone away, so she invited him to join us for the afternoon meal. He was a rather cranky man, and all the while as we were cooking, he began to complain about one thing or another in his life, his health, his wife and children. He even complained about the Guru, saying how rude it was of him to go off on retreat, when he must have known that the man was coming to visit to offer a donation. He seemed to find fault with everyone and everything. I was curious as to how Mata would deal with him. She told me to take care of the rest of the meal preparation and went to sit with him, listening patiently to all he had to say. When I served him the meal, he complained about that too, saying it was too spicy and was burning his mouth. I winced when he said that, because Mata herself always prepares all the spices. But Mata's response was simply, "We will do better next time." I hoped there wouldn't be a next time because he was quite a negative sort, and I was eager to be rid of him. But after the meal, when he made a move to depart, Mata asked him to accompany us, as we would take the remaining food to a man we knew who lived nearby. I was sure he would decline, but for some reason he acquiesced, although rather reluctantly. It was only when we arrived at Badari's hut that I understood Mata's intention. The man we were visiting was well known to us, since we often brought him food. He was quite elderly, lived in a broken-down hut, was nearly blind, and lived alone since his wife died some years earlier, and his children lived in a distant town. But despite his hardships, and there were many, he was one of the most cheerful people you would ever meet, filled with gratitude for every little thing. As soon as we arrived, he told Mata how grateful he was for her visit and the food, declaring that he never tasted such wonderful food as hers. "Your food heals me of every ill," he exclaimed with beaming eyes. Then he added, "How fortunate I am that you, Mata, give such care to a poor soul like me." "You, a poor soul?" Mata exclaimed with a chuckle. "The wealth of the world lies at your fingertips, and yet you choose none of it. You choose only the wealth of your heart, which is overflowing." Mata had once asked him if he wanted her to heal his eyes and restore his sight, but he replied that he saw her and that was all he needed to see. Mata explained to me that he had inner sight, and she said that all his conditions could change if he wanted it to be so, but he had no desire to change anything about his life. She told me he's happy with whatever comes because he has awakened to his inner self, where there is only perfection. Mata herself laid out the food and served him. Again he expressed his gratitude. Kalam sat there silently observing the scene, with a sour expression on his face. At one point he whispered to me, "This man is blind and feeble and lives in a hut that is barely standing. He's nothing to be grateful for." Overhearing the comment, the man turned to him and replied in a joyful voice, with eyes that sparkled despite his poor vision, "I am alive and feel the love of the universe throbbing in my heart. What more is there to ask for? I have gratitude beyond what words can express." After some time, we left Badari and parted ways with Kalam. I thought we were done with that man, but he came to see us a few weeks later. Again, Mata sat with him while he complained about one thing or another, and again I cooked the afternoon meal and served him. And once again he complained about the food, saying this time that it had no flavor, no spice to it at all. Nothing had changed in our food preparation. The spices were the same, but he had a different perception and managed to find fault. "Next time we will do better," Mata patiently expressed in response to his complaints. "Are you going to bring food to that man?" he asked. Mata nodded, and he said he would accompany us. After we arrived and Mata served the food to Badari, and after he had again expressed his gratitude, Kalam asked him a question. "The food has no flavor to it, so why are you praising it? You obviously have lost your sense of taste." Smiling, Badari replied, "Mata's food is always perfect. Whether it has taste or not, I cannot say, but through this food she feeds me love, and it is her love that keeps me alive, the love of the universe, and for that I'm forever grateful." "Fool," Kalam whispered under his breath. Kalam began coming regularly every few weeks, and each time Mata offered him food with the same spices that we always used, and each time he found a different fault with the cooking. Finally, one day he showed up, and after Mata fed him, he merely mumbled something as he ate the food without issuing any complaint, and we understood that his attitude was changing. He asked to accompany us as we brought food to Badari, but this time, as we sat speaking with our friend, I saw Kalam studying the hut and all the areas that needed repair. Before leaving, in a rather gruff tone, he offered to fix Badari's roof, which was leaking. And thus began the transformation. Over the course of months, Kalam went many times to Badari's hut to repair one thing or another, and he ended up visiting him, often without us. One day, when we visited our friend Badari, Badari said to Mata, "I am most grateful that you brought Kalam to me, for I recognize him as a son from the distant past, and we had unfinished matters between us. He now comes quite often to fix one thing or another. Even when nothing needs to be repaired, he finds some reason to visit, and he's become far more attentive than my own children. You know, I don't care about a leaky roof or any such matter, but we talk, and I'm grateful for that. He has a difficult life, and he comes to me with all his complaints. I try to help him see the brighter side, and I'm grateful if I can uplift him just a little bit." "You've done more than just a bit, my friend," Mata replied. "I've seen the transformation in his character, and you are part of the reason. The gratitude that you've always expressed has changed his attitude toward life." Well, those two became dear friends, continued Soma, and after Badari left his physical form, Kalam came to see us. Mata sat with him for a while, and he didn't utter one complaint, not even the suggestion of a negative thought. Our dear Badari, under Mata's guidance, had taught him the yoga of gratitude, and he became a changed man. Before leaving us that day, Kalam looked at Mata with tears in his eyes and said, "How grateful I am that you came into my life and introduced me to Bardari. Knowing that I was able to be of some service to him has given me great pleasure. No one ever listened to me or appreciated my situation the way he did. I will miss him terribly." After Kalam left, Mata explained that he owed a debt to Bidari from the past, and it was one that contributed to his negative outlook on life. Mata knew that Bidari would help him pay off that debt and overcome this negative trait. That has now been accomplished. Mata's teachings was not just for Kalam, but also for me, because she saw my lack of patience and how quick I was to judge. Without saying a word, without a single reprimand, she helped me to see where I was lacking. How many times I complained to her about Kalam, saying that I wished he would never visit us again. At such times, she would only smile at me and tell me to watch what would unfold. This is how she teaches us, Devani, quietly, subtly, without one even noticing. She opens your heart. Once she told me that by practicing the yoga of gratitude, the heart opens and love flows, and love is the source of all good things. It enables that deep transformation without which we cannot see things as they truly are. Soma was quiet, and we both rested in silence for several minutes as I absorbed the story she just told, feeling Mata's presence as if she was with us. Then Soma continued, "Gratitude helps us to see the true nature of things because everything that comes to us, every condition, no matter how adverse, is for the purpose of awakening and can lead to a positive outcome. It all depends on our attitude." I know this was Mata's attitude even in childhood. I came to Matila after the drought ended, but there is a story the servants used to tell. During the drought, when there were difficult times, and often Janak Baba and the family would not eat because others in the kingdom were going without food. Mata once exclaimed how grateful people will be when the drought ends, when the rains come and food is again plentiful. And then she corrected herself, saying, "No, we should be grateful now for even the little bit of food we have. We should be grateful for the advances that will come from this experience and for the ways in which the whole kingdom has come together to support one another." And indeed, advances came, new methods of providing water for the fields. Out of adversity comes progress. A certain tension precedes the birth of the new. Mata often says this. And even though it is difficult to hold this view when the world looks bleak, gratitude helps to awaken the creative energy to overcome adversity. Mata has shown me this again and again. I want to repeat that line. And even though it is difficult to hold this view when the world looks bleak, gratitude helps to awaken the creative energy to overcome adversity. The servants, hearing what Mata said, were discussing this when Janak Baba entered the kitchen. Overhearing what they were talking about, he exclaimed, "Sita is right. Gratitude is a yogic practice that everyone can perform. Not everyone is suited to meditation, reciting mantra, or engaging in other spiritual practices, but everyone can express gratitude because everyone has something to be grateful for, no matter how dire their situation. And there's tremendous power in this practice." She continued, "I heard all this as soon as I arrived in Mithila. Later, after Mata and Sri Ram returned from the exile, I heard this again. How often I heard her say how grateful she was to have spent so many years with Ram and Lakshman, traveling together through the land as ordinary wanderers, seeing the diversity of plant and animal life, and meeting people from so many tribes and clans. She said those years were among the happiest of her time here on earth. I once asked her whether she was also grateful for her time in Lanka, and she responded with glowing eyes, "Of course. I learned so much, seeing firsthand how Ravana's greed had ravaged the land and hurt so many people. Previously, I had not understood the extent of his greed and arrogance, both of which are unknown in Mithila and Ayodhya. I was able to see the damage done by the pursuit of unrelenting desires. This must be a lesson for people well into the future, or the dangers will repeat themselves. To guard against such illusions is the work of all of us." I knew that in Lanka she was able to help many people, and she was able to assist Ram from inside Ravana's kingdom, entering Ravana's mind and working to shatter the illusions he was creating. She has enormous gratitude for that. And then her retreat here to these forests. I know she's grateful for the opportunity to raise her sons in a place where they can be close to and learn from nature. She often says that cultivating love for the plant and animals of the forest is just as important as any knowledge they will gain from the sages. Her attitude has turned our lives and this place into a heavenly abode. She's been able to do here what she could never do in the palace. I have heard her laughingly question whether Rishi Bhrigu knew this when he uttered that curse. Did he know all she would be able to accomplish through her retreat from palace life, where she could be part of this beautiful natural world and live as people in the villages do? Over the years, people have come to Mata with all kinds of ills, and she's helped them develop this attitude of gratitude. Often I have seen illnesses cured just from this alone. So, Devani, do not doubt that your gratitude will in time infect others. Worry will come to know gratitude in this life. I assure you of that. As Soma spoke those words, I thought of what Mata's life entailed. Years in the forest that must have brought difficulties, and then the year in Lanka, and yet she saw only the positive. Mata's life was a teaching itself. Every step she took paved the way for us to follow. Throughout my time with Soma that day, Mata's presence was palpable. That night in meditation, I thought again of Kalam and Bidari and knew that Mata helped them resolve the remnants of their unresolved karma. This is her unseen work. As I was writing this book, many teachings came to me, obviously. But what I came to, there are many profound teachings actually, but what I came to understand is that Mata and the other avatars work individually with us to help us resolve our unfinished karma so that we can evolve and we can advance spiritually. And when we hear the stories, traditional stories in our narrative, we just hear about the grand events, the battle in Lanka. But my interest is really how she works with us individually. And during her time on Earth, as you'll see in this new book, she worked with many, because when an avatar takes birth, many souls incarnate with them to help with that work who are near the end of their karmic journey. And they know that coming down when the avatar is here will help them resolve the last bits of their unfinished karma. This woman, Devani, who tells me this story, was one such soul, highly evolved soul, who had a little bit of karma left. And working with Mata, she resolved those issues so that she was able to free herself from the remaining karma. And the many, many subtle ways. You have to be attentive because, whether Sita's in a body or not is irrelevant. Her work is the same. If our eyes are open to see how she's guiding us to work through our unresolved issues. And if we're asleep and don't see it, we'll get another opportunity, and another opportunity, and another opportunity until we finally wake up and see how she's guiding us. And that's why I call this the yoga of awakening. And it's about moment to moment how we live our everyday life. So I will pause here to see if there are any reactions or comments or any questions you'd like to ask me.
That's amazing, Tina ji. And please, if anyone wants to speak anything, can raise your hand or unmute. It's a very important topic, and really, it's heart touching. And everyone is observing the vibes, positive vibes. I think everyone is enjoying Dinaji.
Comments, no questions. You know, as I said, each chapter in this new book touches upon a different aspect. There's the yoga of forgiveness, the yoga of generosity, the yoga of non-reaction, different aspects of um, um, how to elevate our consciousness so that we stay always in a positive frame of mind, um, seeing everything as an opportunity for growth, everything that comes to us in our life. And we all sort of lose sight of that when we have, it's easy to say this when things are going well, but as soon as we have a challenge, we forget that that it's there for a purpose to help us to test our reactions. There's a chapter in the book, The Yoga of Non-Reaction. How do we not react to external events and yet be able to help external events? How do we have be able to emit a positive energy and not react to things that are being thrown at us all the time? Whether, through our relationships, through world situations, uh, uh, it's a challenge, until we really are there, we'll find these challenges. And as I say at the beginning, I found that the story of Ravana is a profound one. We talk a lot about how the Mahabharata was an inner battle. And so much has been written about that it's really about the inner battle with our own uh, negative traits, which were represented by Duryodhana and the others. It's the same thing with the battle in Lanka. That was an inner battle because the traits that Ravana was manifesting are traits in lesser degrees that are existing always, even within ourselves, and we are part of the collective. So when we exhibit arrogance or when we exhibit greed, we're adding that to the collective. And in the chapter, The Yoga of Generosity, Mata says the way to counter greed is through generosity, and so she says that greed is like a dam blocking up the river, but that once you start practicing generosity, the river flows freely again. So all these many ways in which the qualities that Ravana manifested are qualities that at times creep up in ourselves as well, and that's really our battle, because however we are, we're adding to the collective. And so as I was writing this, I was thinking very much about the world situation, because I see Ram and I see Sita as very active in the world today, not some far off Devi sitting in some astral realm or some high celestial realm. actively working with those who are seeking to be guided to help advance the world situation. So there are a lot of
Dina ji,
reflection. Hmm?
sorry to interrupt you, Dina ji. Many have expressed their comments that it is wonderful realization, Dina ji, about gratitude, love, and forgiveness. And also Nanda ji, such a wonderful explanation about gratitude and love. They sent messages in the chat showing their gratitude.
Yeah. So I mean, gratitude is puts us in a positive frame of mind, and it helps. Uh, um, we all encounter. The other lesson is this was Devani, who was an advanced soul herself, how she had to deal with these characters in her village. So after Ravana was defeated, that was not the end of the story, because he was seeding the collective mind with negative traits, and we're all part of this one collective mind. So in pockets elsewhere, these mini characters, mini Ravanas, I would say, would pop up. And how to deal with them is this is the situation that this woman is encountering, how to deal with a mini Ravana. And we have Ravanas in our world today. We have powerful Ravanas in our world, gobbling up resources, acting in cruel ways. And how are we to deal with them? That's the question that this book deals with. How are we to deal with them? And so each chapter is another example of how, and it's looking within, as it is within, so it will be without, and to realize that we are part of this collective. And so, whatever qualities we manifest in our own minds are qualities that are going to be in the collective field. And so, to understand our responsibility to the collective is very important, actually, because so many people come to me and say, "What can I do about the world situation?" You know, it's of course, everybody has a different dharma to fulfill, but most importantly, what we can do for the collective situation is to purify ourselves. That's the most powerful thing, because if you work externally in the field and you're not purifying your own mind, then you're also adding to the shadows of the world. So to purify our minds, which is of course what meditation helps with. Meditation is a key part of this. But in addition to meditation, it's being watchful and observing and seeing where these qualities that you don't want, where they creep in subtly. It gets subtler and subtler.
Original మన బాడీ ఎంత
Yeah, please can someone unmute mute yourself? Okay, I think yes. Yeah, sorry. Yes, Dina ji.
Somebody want to make a comment?
I think accidentally it got unmuted, I guess. Anyone wants to speak or have a comment, please raise your hand or unmute. Okay, I think it's an accident. And
Has this book been released, Dena Merriam ji? Namaste. Thank you so much for your presence. So beautiful to hear about this, all the life lessons you're telling in this book. So has it been released or is it yet to come? Are you in the process of
Going to
writing?
be released. It's in the final stages of printing now. It will be released in January.
Mhm.
And I'm actually going to India in January for a book release, and we'll be giving some talks on it. But it will be available on Amazon, should be available on Amazon in January.
Okay, looking forward to it. So nice, so wonderful. Can't wait to read that book. Thank you so much.
My hope is, as always, is that through the book, people are able to come into the presence of Sita, and she becomes a living reality in your life. Interestingly, in this book, Ram was also a very strong presence. At the very beginning of the book, there's a chapter on identities, because this woman, Devani, doesn't realize who Sita is at first. She has a connection with her internally, an internal guidance, an internal presence. And then she, by accident, quote unquote, she meets her in the forest one day, Sita with her two young children and Soma. And she recognizes that that's the internal presence that's been guiding her since childhood. But she doesn't know she's the Maharani. She just thinks she's a rishi, a great rishi. And so she goes on thinking that she's got this wonderful rishi who's living not far she can get her teachings from. And then at some point she realizes she's the Maharani and she's very confused. Soma comes to her and shows her the reality of Sita. And then she says, if that's Sita, then who's Ram? And then she shows her the reality of Ram. And after Sita leaves her physical form, I guess toward the end of the book or midway through the book, Ram becomes a very strong presence. And those who had been very close to Sita uh, feel that he's now taken over the role of Sita, Ram has, and they become very much focused on Ram. And so it's a beautiful, to me, it was beautiful observing this, the coming together of Ram and Sita. I mean, I don't know a story of a more beautiful union, actually. In all the histories and all the stories of the Devatas, I don't know a more beautiful story than the love story of Ram and Sita. And to me, it's really been an ideal. I mean, so what we all seek is that type of love story, right? And so this woman, Devani, who Sita's her whole life, through that whole experience, Ram becomes her beloved. And she has these, after Sita leaves, she has these experiences of Ram. And she realizes they're inseparable. To know one, you know the other. And so through this whole experience, I've also come into that relationship with Ram, realizing that they are both very active living presences in the world today. So whenever I get discouraged by the world's situations, which does happen, I realize that, we're just emerging from a dark era of human consciousness. We're just emerging from a period of gross materialism, and we are emerging from it. But depends upon whether you look in decades or millennia. We live in a world where we just look at a decade as a long time, but if you look through the millennia, we're in an upward part of the cycle. And so Ram and Sita are very much guiding this whole yuga cycle. Narayan and Narayani are very much guiding this whole yuga cycle, the whole 24,000 year yuga cycle. And so it gives me comfort to know that you have to sort of step back and take a long view of the world situation. It's hard because we live our day-to-day lives and you read the news and it's like humanity seems crazy. Um, I think that's greatly comforting to know that those powerful guidances are there. And as each one of us advances spiritually, we're helping the collective advance. That's a very important message. Our role, so our responsibility is not just to advance for our own sake, but for the collective. Okay, somebody asks a question now.
And also, Dena ji, we have some comments in the chat. Shall I read? I think Dr. Mamata said, like, thank you so much, Dena ma'am, sharing your experiences and making us aware of importance of love and forgiveness. And with meditation, we can achieve it. And Sunita, she said, thank you so much, Dena Merriam Master, for sharing your experiences and journey with Sita Mata. Lord Rama, we are blessed for extending love of Lord Rama, Sita for many births. Thank you so much for your knowledge and love. And can you please suggest any advice how to connect to our inner self? Is the question. To feel the love of Lord and inner consciousness. That was the question kept in the chat, Dinaji.
How do we connect to our inner self and feel the love? It's for each person, it's different. You have to find what works for you. For me, it's been two things. It's meditation, which, you know, we're a meditation, we're meditating people, so we know meditation is a crucial part of it. And I learned early on that even when nothing is happening, meditation, something is happening. In other words, even if you're not aware that anything is happening, something is happening. And for me, the other way is writing. When I write, I attune myself with a higher energy, with a higher self, so that I can allow things to flow through me. How to connect to your inner self, and feel the love of the Lord, of inner consciousness. I think invocations help, like, you know, doing mantra, or just keep trying to keep your mind centered on some aspect of the divine. uh, uh, Finding little ways to keep bringing your mind back to the divine. You know, I think that each person has to find the things that work for them within the context of their life. I think reading uplifting books certainly helps. You know, reading it and then meditating on some of those stories. So I think there's not one way, aside from meditation as being the foundation. Meditation, reading spiritual texts, doing mantra, uh, um, you know, filling yourself with the consciousness of Sita or with Ram. These are different ways that you can attune yourself with their energy. When I attune myself, when I invoke the presence of Sita, she's right there. When I invoke the presence of Ram, I feel Ram in my presence. I feel Ram. Ram is a living presence to me, not a separate ideal, a living presence. And I try to keep bringing my mind. If I go too much throughout the day without having my mind on that presence, I have to bring it back. Just uttering the name Ram does it for me. Um, so try out different things. Whichever of the devatas you're closest to, uh, uh, maybe it's Sitama, whichever one of the devatas you're closest to, just keep sort of bringing your mind back to that devata at different times throughout the day. I hope that helps.
Absolutely, Dinachi. Yeah, that so many things you have mentioned. I can see, as you said, like Lord Ram and Sita in you. So I am so blissful. And anyone wants to uh, unmute and speak? You have to feel it, then only we can. That's true.
So what I
Absolutely.
would like to do is, after people have read the new book, maybe we can
Yes.
reconvene and talk about different aspects. My thought is that perhaps one day in the future, do some kind of retreat. It could be a Zoom retreat, taking different chapters and different, because each chapter has a different story. Some of the teachings are directly from Sita, some come through Soma. A different story uh, um, about how the practice is transformative. And I talk at the very end of the book, I talk about my own personal transformation through writing this book. There's a chapter on the yoga of forgiveness, and I had to go. I have a family member that I've had difficult relationship with. I've had to go through. I've had to look at my own life. Have I forgiven at a very deep level? Uh, because it goes. We hold things sometimes deep inside, and we're not even so conscious of it, but we're still holding a hurt. And it's a matter of letting go of all hurts. And when the chapter on non-judgment, I was many things that are going on in our political life here in the US, I was judging. And I said to myself, I'm writing about non-judgment, the yoga of non-judgment, and I am judging. How do I reconcile this, And how do we not judge things that are harmful? Big question that the book raises is how are we to be in the face of harm, people who are causing suffering. And again, what the book shows is you have to see the history to understand it. In the Treta Yuga, people were able to see the past more clearly. So if somebody did an ill deed, you can see what led to that. There's a cause for everything. Nothing is just happens out of the blue. There's always an earlier cause. So the people who are causing harm in our world today, there's an earlier cause. And now my question that I keep asking is, well, what led that person to do that thing? What is in their history that is leading them? And then in Treta Yuga, you could also see the future trajectory. And there are many points in the book where this woman Devani sees the future of people, and she sees that this very nasty woman is eventually in a future life going to become her devotee and the most loyal of her devotees. So how can she be angry at her when she's her future devotee? So it's seeing the past and future and not getting caught so much in the present moment. So there are many things, and perhaps we can come together again once people have looked at the book for a deeper dive, because this is what this book helped me to do, was to go deeper into that time period, which is the Treta Yuga, a higher time period. And the problem with the traditional narratives that have come to us is they've been filtered through a Kali Yuga lens, patriarchy and all that, Kali Yuga lens. And so we have to free those biases and really go deeper into the story of what was going on the world stage, and what was going on in the teachings that were given at the time. Uh,
Dina ji,
so, hmm.
sorry to interrupt. And Dina ji, while in this connection, just wanted to tell you with the Devi Chakra Master, we just did last session and making peace with past. Since as you are saying that non-judgmental and many hurts, everyone is getting wounded, and your upcoming book. So I just remembered because we just did that session, and I told Devi Chaka Master that we are bringing Dena Merriam to our. Then she said, "Amazing, we love you."
And I love you all.
That is
If
such
there,
a
if there are no
thank
more,
you.
if there are no more comments,
Yes, and I think just now we got from Rahanshi. Thank you so much for wonderful session and the best book. I read multiple times. I think she's saying connected to the untold story of Sita. And while reading the book, feeling much deeper energies during meditation ever since that. See, everyone, Dina ji, as you said, everyone, there is so much. Even I can speak for 1 hour, but we do not have time on that book. Such everyone has to feel it and express, as you said.
yeah. Despite our difficulties, we have to keep coming back to that, knowing that everything that comes to us is for the purpose of awakening. And that helps us get through whatever difficult times we have to, individually and collectively. Individually and collectively.
Exactly, Dinaji. And after reading your book, the about Lord Sita and Rama, it is such a pure way that there are no misconceptions. Everything is with free will. Sita Ma did, and how it is all that misconceptions have been gone, and people see how great they are. Um, so so much, and yes, Dinaji, you want to um, go ahead with the meditation, or you want to say many?
Let's close with a 10-minute meditation.
Yes. Yeah,
And
definitely we can.
I'll let you take us out of the meditation. We'll just close now. We'll just let's I'll just speak for a minute or two, then we'll go into meditation. Then I'll let you, when the time is up, I'll let you bring us out. Let's again dwell on the story we just heard of Sita, the patience she showed to this difficult character, Kalam, and knowing that she was helping him resolve an unfinished karma, and that by serving this father from his distant past, he would resolve an old relationship. And she had the patience and the non-judgment to see, and the vision to see how it would lead, where it would lead to, how it would be a healing, and how this character would be transformed through this experience. And she does that with each one of us. With each one of us, she brings us opportunities to heal old wounds, to heal old relationships. And we must take those opportunities and be grateful for them, and to be grateful for the opportunities. Let's feel the presence of Sita, how she comes to each one of us individually, knowing our past and knowing our future, and has unconditional love for us with no judgment whatsoever.
Masters, cross your feet, clasp your hands, close your eyes, and just observe your natural, easy, calm breath. 5 minutes, Masters. One minute, Masters. And when you are ready, just place your hands on your eyes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open with beautiful smile. And Dena ji, we still want to do more meditation, and I appreciate your time too. Thank you so much, and we are very, very grateful to you for today's session and the yoga of gratitude and so many about your new book. Thank you so much. And I think uh, can we take few more minutes, few questions? I think Gargi has raised a hand, so let me. Yes, please unmute. Yeah.
Thank you, Dena ma'am, for this beautiful session. And I just want to share my experience. I just finished reading your book, Untold Story of Sita. And I have been introduced with the Rama and Lord Ram and Mata Sita's presence, especially Lord Rama's presence when I was reading Ramcharitmanas before. But after reading your book, this Untold Story of Sita, it helped me to, understand love. So now I can, feel the love, and I feel like I expand when I become one with love, and it's such a beautiful experience that I'm able to feel the love. Love for me is just that oneness which is expanding. So that experience has come after reading your book, and it's so beautiful. Initially, when I started your book, it was the presence I could feel. I was like freezing. I was used to freeze. But after I finished, this love thing has come into my life, which is like expansion of myself or something. So it's so beautiful, and so grateful to you for this, for the untold story of Sita, as well as I'm very much looking forward to your next book. So thank you. And last time in Reinvent, you read some excerpts from this book, Sita's Awakening, Sita's Yoga. So again, I was like, my whole body froze when you were reading it. So it's an amazing experience when you read book or when I'm reading the book. And thank you so much. I have no words for the, deep gratitude to you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. That was beautiful. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Gati, for sharing your experience. And wonderful. And just one more we will take. Usually we keep our sessions 1 hour, but today we are so happy to extend a little bit more with Deenaji's permission. And one more we will take if anyone wants to. You can unmute and share. And we have upcoming, I think, Dr. Mamata, you have mentioned something in the chat, right, for the upcoming sessions to get onto the website. And for the recordings, you can also visit Kavita Kukunuri YouTube channel as well as PMC USA channel, pssmovement.org for more information. And we will bring you back again, Deenaji. We do not want to end the session. We wanted to have many more sessions with you. And so how much we speak about untold story of Sita, it is just a drop in ocean, because today we are seeing Sita Ma in you and Lord Rama. So that is a beautiful presence. And I think one more, I think Radhika, yes, please. One more
I
master.
wanted to express gratitude to Dena ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. After reading Untold Story of Sita, like whole of 45 years, whatever I was believing, I was always thinking Ram was harsh to Sita, and how can this injustice be done to a woman like that? But then after I read your book, all those things vanished, and I'm just so glad that in reality that was not the case, and Sita chose the things that she was doing, and it just relieved so much of some kind of that feeling or whatever, that experience that I had for so many years. But after I read your book, it just cleared up everything, and it was really it's a great book. I would love to go back and read again. It's been 4 to 5 years back now, but I can always go back and read it again and again. It's beautiful. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. And Dr. Mamata wants to share this video. Thank you so much, Dr. Mamata. And everyone should read this book.
Even in 50, if you want to have like 25 years of age and energies, where do you get? How do you get? This is through meditation. And club or book reading for me, Mother's Day gift. And it is a wonderful book which Patriji has emphasized to read. He said it changed his life and it will change everyone's life. It's amazing. You will connect to the a higher conscious, how to live a dharmic life of Lord Rama and Sita. This book author, Dena Merriam, she wonderful again, pure emotional story and gives lot of enlightenment. And there are all the facts or myths or misconceptions, whichever were there, they all will be untold.
Through past life memories and meditative insight, Dena Merriam reveals Sita's profound relationship with nature, her quiet courage, and her spiritual mastery, inviting readers to see the Ramayana through a compassionate feminine lens. The book feels less like a retelling and more like a sacred reminder of the power, dignity, and timeless wisdom of the divine feminine. To illuminate the soul behind the legend, and in doing so, she invites readers to reconnect with their own inner Sita, the part that seeks truth, honors intuition, and walks the path of compassion with unwavering strength. If you haven't got the book, please get that book as a gift for yourself. And we are so excited to look forward to Deenaji's new book, Sita Yoga, which we are very fortunate to hear her wisdom at our KHA Miraculous Minds platform on December 13th. See you all soon. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Even in 50, if you want to have like 25 years
The purpose of our KHA Miraculous Minds is to learn
through meditation and club or book reading. For me, Mother's Day gift, and it is a wonderful book which Patriji has emphasized to read.
think,
He said it changes his
Dr.
life.
Mamata, there is a
And
background
it changes
YouTube.
everyone's life. It's amazing. You will connect to
Artists teach and spread meditation at organization level. Guest Paripatri.
Thank you, Kavita ma'am, for inviting me here. How did you join meditation?
2020, like thoughtless state. And this I have mentioned at Pyramid Valley International Buddha CEO because
How inspiring you are to be miraculous, overcoming your life challenges is through changing your subconscious mind. All starts from you believing in your own power.
Begins with the acceptance by acknowledging the reality of our situation.
Through this inspirational talk.
So always rising each time you fall and embrace the power of resilience.
Rise by being stronger, wiser, and more determined. We can think of ourselves like a lotus wherein it grows in the muddy water. Yet it blossoms unmatched.
not lose your identity. Be an example to others.
Thank you very much.
The purpose. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Tomorrow's session, artistic case taking with assorted cases and with great master. Please do join. And all the meditation sessions are also will be posted. Thank you so much and very grateful to Dena ji and to all the people who have joined, to our steady group doctors who are helping with this KHA Miraculous Minds. Today's Dr. Mamata, Dr. Sakshi was there, and many more doctors who are helping spreading the meditation. And masters, please do join One World Meditation Day and register online. We already have more than 10,000 people have registered, but we need 50,000. And thanking family, friends, everyone, all the masters, all the gurus who have joined. And once again, we will be back with another, with the new book of Dr. Deenaji's book. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we are going to end the. Is that okay, Deenaji?
Thank you all for being able to spend time with you, and I look forward to being with you again very soon.
Sure, definitely.
Thank you so
Everyone,
much.
take care and be well.
Thank you so much.
Happy holidays and Happy New Year
Happy
ahead.
holidays and New Year. Yes.
And good luck with the book launch, Deenaji. We love to hear many more things, exciting things. Okay.
Look forward to meeting with you after the book is out.